We'll wait for 2 minutes for Lalita
Okay.
to join
Okay.
and then we will start, okay? And in fact, I think you can see my screen. I started downloading NetBeans also.
It's IntelliJ or
NetBeans.
NetBeans? Okay, it's a different. Okay.
You are working on IntelliJ?
Yeah, I started working on IntelliJ only mostly. Yeah.
Okay. Because with Eclipse, yesterday we got Tomcat issues, right? With
Okay. Okay.
NetBeans is provided by Oracle.
Okay.
Java also by Oracle. So usually NetBeans has a built-in server, Glassfish,
Okay.
which is an application server. So that's the reason I have chosen NetBeans
Okay.
because mm,
IntelliJ is also good, right?
IntelliJ is also good. In real time, we use IntelliJ, Eclipse, NetBeans. Mostly IntelliJ is used on Mac.
Okay. Okay. Got it. That
Mac,
yeah.
Mac systems, IntelliJ is used. The reason why I chose NetBeans is because it has inbuilt a server.
Okay. Okay.
NetBeans has inbuilt application server.
Okay.
Glassfish. All are provided by Oracle only, Java, IDE.
Okay.
So that's the reason I have chosen just for this training purpose. Okay, let me save this. Okay, you can download it from netbeans.org. Latest version is 8.2.
Okay.
You can also start download on your machine. Let me record this. Okay, it's already recording, right? Just click on to be more specific. Uh, this is a link I'll send you. So here you can download NetBeans. Click on download it here so that it will start downloading in your default folder. Most probably it will be downloads in Windows. So let's open this NetBeans 8.2. And again, this should be compatible with Java version also because I'm using 8, Java 8. So I've downloaded latest version.
Okay.
According to the version Java that you are supposed to download. So it says this I have to make, okay, yes. Yes. Okay. So it is configuring. So meanwhile, what we can do is we'll discuss some theory part of, okay, it's the installer will install all these things, basic IDE, Java SE Standard Edition, Enterprise Edition, Micro Edition, HTML, JavaScript, Groovy, and Java Card also is going good in the market. And it has Glassfish Server Open Source Edition. It's a default server that is provided with NetBeans. So we need not go for third-party server like Tomcat. See program files NetBeans. Okay, so this is a default JDK IDE 1.8, JDK 1.8, and this is a path file, installation path file. Install Glassfish too along with this, as I told. Glassfish server also installed. It will get installed in C program files by default. Now let us click on install. Okay, let it install. Meanwhile, what we can do is we have discussed about servlet, isn't it? What is a servlet? What is a request object? And what is a response object? Here, the most interesting part is client and server communication. Okay, client and server communication. So on the server, let's say you have a servlet running. So it has to read data from the request. I told the servlet has to read data from the servlet. So here you are sending, let's say you have a form. Now if you open anything for that matter, now this is a client machine. I'm opening this web page. Now when I clicked on this link, it is going to the server and coming back and giving me some information. Let's say release notes or tutorials or training or support, whatever it is, links, some links I'm clicking. So when I click on this, what is happening? See, this is all HTML if you observe. This is all HTML. If I click on this, again, this is a HTML file. It is going to the server, and do you think it's a plain HTML? No, this is not plain HTML. In backend, you have a servlet JSP running. Is my point clear? If you see, all this is HTML, which is getting data from the backend servlets and JSPs. Okay. So this communication, how we are going to do that, we will see practically. Okay. So this is a link. So what I'm asking, I'm saying FAQ index I want. So if you see, this is again HTML, means in the backend, it is getting from the server. Okay. So how to do that? That part we are going to see. So it is still installing. Right. So let's say you have a login form. Let's say you have a login form. You have a login form. Okay, so here username. You have to enter username, password, confirm password. You can also enter mobile number, and then let's say submit. Submit and reset. Okay, so in this way you have a user form. Submit and reset. Let's say this is a username, this is a password field, and this is confirm password. Submit and reset. This is a pure login form with username, password. Now, when you are entering the data, this data is being sent. Your username, this form is sent as a request object. This form is sent as a request object. And in turn, you will get a response. In turn, you will get a response. Okay, then now the servlet has to read. Now, inside the servlet, let's say login servlet. Login servlet extends HTTP servlet. Login servlet extends HTTP servlet. In this we know, let's say you are using protected void do post method. You are using do post, you know, HTTP servlet request. I'll write in short, HTTP servlet request and HTTP servlet response. Okay, request and response. You need to pass two parameters. HTTP servlet request and HTTP servlet response. You have to pass. Okay. Now here what the servlet has to do, because once you are sending the request, it has to read the data. It has to read the data. Now this is your request object. This is your request object. And this will be your response object. This will be your response object. This will be your response object. Okay, so inside the using this request object, what is the request object name? Now this request is encapsulated in which object? Request object is encapsulated in this object. Your request object is encapsulated in this object. Request. So client request is encapsulated in. Client request is encapsulated in request object. Okay, in request object. Client request is encapsulated in request object. So here you have to read data using request object. Request dot, you will start writing response, some basic information you need to write. But the most important way to read the data is, that is, you have to set the response type, set response type, set response type, and then start reading data. How to read data? Request object name dot get parameter. Request object, what is a parameter? You have to pass the name. You have to pass the name. Okay, request object dot get parameter. Now what parameter you want to read? You want to read this username. What user has entered, that name you want to read. So let's say, you remember, right? When we create a form, how do we create a form? You create a form using form tag, name equal to so and so, and action, isn't it? You remember, yes or no?
Yeah.
Right? So inside the form, how do we specify this input box in HTML? Let's say in HTML, you have this input type equal to text, form tag, name equal to, let's say, login form, name equal to login form, method equal to post, action equal to what you want to call, where you want to go. Let's say success dot login success. Okay, this page you wanted to go. Action equal to success. Right, inside this form you use input tag, input type equal to text, input type equal to text, name equal to, let's say you enter username, uname. Okay, you need not specify any value. Similarly, same thing, input type equal to, instead of text you have something called password. Input type equal to text, input type equal to password. You specify password, input type equal to password, name equal to, okay, input type equal to user password, and confirm password also. Same thing we want to read. You input type equal to password. It should be same password you have to give, because it's a predefined tag name, password tag it is. Name equal to upass, and this is confirm password. Okay, next, submit and reset, that is not required. Now you have to close the form. This is how you specify in your HTML. So here, from which variable or from which field you want to read the data? You want to read data from this input type equal to text. Now, how do you refer it? Using a name, uname. Okay, you have to specify the name of a tag. Request dot get parameter username. Similarly, you have to give request dot get parameter password. Request dot get parameter request dot get parameter upass. What is the password field name? What is the name that we have given? User password. Okay, so that name you have to specify. So from the field, the servlet engine will read the data. Server will read the data. Upass and similarly confirm password. Request dot get parameter. So it's a predefined method to read values from the client. It is a predefined method. Get parameter is a predefined method to read data from the form submitted by the client. Any doubts so far?
No.
This name you have to give here and user password. So from whichever field you want to read the data, that field name you have to pass in order to read data using a method called get parameter. Okay, so this is a client form and this is a server servlet. This is HTML. Let's say login.html file. This is login.html and this is login serve. Login serve.java. Login serve.java. Okay. So in this way, you have to create two files in order to read data from the client. Okay. So let's see. Let's save this. Meanwhile, we can try in Eclipse also. Just we'll type the application there and we can copy to NetBeans.
Okay.
Still you are in lockdown period only, Indian?
Sorry?
Still offices you are working from home or
Yeah, still office working from home only. Yeah.
how is the situation in US? That's Corona version 2 something.
See,
Uh,
it's not like that, but they are asking to work. For us, they
mhm.
told like till September we have to work from home only.
Means 21 September.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
So they got confirmation like yeah from client everything.
Mm-hmm.
So till October, September we have to be in
Mm-hmm.
home only.
Work
Like
from.
that they are very sure.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I think this is the first servlet that we created, right? Let us create a HTML file, login file. We can take up from existing files. Because we already know HTML, and in this you have okay, this. Okay, same file. Let us take same thing. Control C. So inside this web content, we have to create an HTML file. New HTML login.
Okay, let us say it is running. Now, how to read the data from this servlet? From this HTML, we will create a servlet here. New Java file we are supposed to create, that is servlet. Okay, so new servlet, class name, login serve. So super class is HTTP servlet. Click on next, and URL mapping is /login serve, and we are not creating any initialization parameters. I'll tell you what are initialization parameters. First, let us read the values from the request object. Okay, so let's click on finish. Okay, so this is a servlet, login serve, HTTP servlet, do get, do post. Now let us use do get method here. Sorry, do post method, HTTP servlet request, HTTP servlet response throws servlet and IO exception. This is a default method. Now here let us write our servlet code. First and foremost, we have to set the response object, response dot set content type, response dot set content type. So this is text slash HTML, text slash HTML. Now response dot get writer, response dot get writer will return a print writer object. So assigning it to print writer. Now we have to import a package. Import java.io. Next, print writer dot print writer dot println println, we have to pass a string of HTML. Now what is that string? We have to start HTML. Okay, so before we start, okay, since I have opened it, I have to close this. I'm closing HTML. As I told, this is a servlet which has to read the data from the client. So
I told request object, use request object. Request dot get parameter. Request dot get parameter of what? What is the name that we have given to the username? See, enter login name. Okay, enter login name. Input type equal to text, name equal to login name. This we have to copy and paste it here. This we have to copy and paste it here. Request dot get parameter. Now it will return a string value. Request dot get parameter will return a string value. So we have to assign it to the string. Let's say user name. U underscore name equal to request dot get parameter. Similarly, we have to read request dot get parameter of password. What is the username and password that we are supposed to read? So request dot get parameter. What is the name that we used in the client form? In the client, we used password. So let me copy this and then get back here and give a password field. Request dot get parameter. So here it is u underscore password. Okay, u underscore password. And we want to read confirm password also. Okay, let's say we want to read confirm password. So let's give C password. So these three parameters we have obtained from the request value, request object. So let's see here, username, password. So there is no confirm password. Now let's write that also. Control C and Control V. Password, C password, and this is input type equal to enter confirm password. So in this way, you have to read values into the servlet. After reading these values, let's say, now what is the whole purpose of reading? Let's say if the username is, now you have to check a condition here. If, let's say, login name equal to, login underscore name equal to admin and login password. Okay, that is uname. We have stored it in uname, isn't it? So you have to take uname, not login name, uname. U underscore name equal to admin and U underscore password. U underscore password equal to admin and C underscore password. C underscore password equal to admin. U underscore name equal to admin and U underscore password equal to admin, and you, if all the values are this, means we are using admin as a global name, username and password. If this is the case, U underscore, we have to use double equal to, okay, comparison. So let's use double equal to. Okay, one thing, we have to use equals method. These are strings, right? So in order to compare strings, you have to use equals method. If at all it's a numeric value, then you are supposed to use equal to. If username equal to password equal to, okay, so since all are strings, you are supposed to use equals method. Instead of double equal to, you are supposed to use equals method. So if username is equals admin, password and confirm password are admin, then what you want to do, let's say you want to move to the success page. Okay, you want to move to success page. For that you have two options. Request a dispatcher, you are supposed to use request dispatcher. Okay, so before we move to request dispatcher, or else let's use response dot send redirect. Okay, response dot send redirect. You can give any file name, let's say success.html. Just to simplify the things, I'm using this. Else I want to give response.send redirect failure.html. Any doubts on this? See, this is all Java. This is all complete technical servlet Java part. And once this is done, whatever HTML is there, that you have to again write it in this. Okay, after redirecting, maybe let's say you want to pw.println body part. Body bg color equal to, let's say, pink or green. This is complete HTML again. pw.print and close body part. Any doubts in this?
No.
Hmm.
Yeah, no.
Ask me whatever doubt you have. Yes.
No. I was
All
just,
right.
yeah.
All right. So this is a complete Java part, Java program, and anything, see, if else is executed, definitely we will not get into this part. Okay, because if and else, here we are using response.send redirect. So obviously it will go to success.html or failure.html. If we don't use this, let's say we are not using this part. If you are not using this part, we can write it here. We can write this inside the if else. Okay, let's say body, I mean, if block is executed, it has to execute this HTML. Like this you can write. But usually we don't write like that. Usually we don't write like this. Okay, so if else is usually used in order to, because in success.html we usually write a HTML code only, right? So instead of writing in this block, okay, so this is a servlet that we want to use. Okay, let me check if this is done.